The world doesn't care how hard you work. Someone will betray you. Someone less qualified will take your spot. Someone will smile to your face and stab you in the back before you see it coming. That's not pessimism. That's just reality. But here's what they never tell you. Some people don't just survive that reality. They master it. They move through rooms and people feel it without understanding why. They speak less, yet somehow carry more weight. They lose battles on purpose so they can win wars. That's not luck. That's not charisma. That's dark intelligence. And today, I'm going to break it down into 8 traits, the ones powerful people spend their whole lives hoping you never discover. But first, drop this in the comments right now. I choose to be strategically intelligent, not emotionally reactive. Let's go. Trait number 1, calculated opacity. Most people treat conversations like confessionals. Someone asks a question, and they answer it completely. Their motivations, their fears, their next move, all of it, out in the open. They think they're being honest. They're actually bleeding out. Machiavelli said it centuries ago. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. Here's the psychological truth. Mystery creates influence. When you don't explain yourself completely, people's minds fill in the gaps, and what they imagine, that controls them far more than anything you could actually say. Try this. Someone asks your weekend plans. You say, "Oh, just staying home, watching movies." Boring, forgettable, predictable. Now try, "I've got something important I need to handle." Then change the subject. Same weekend, completely different impression. Your information is your currency. Every time you over-explain, you're spending it for free. Calculated opacity isn't about being cold or secretive. It's about being selective. Share enough to keep people engaged, never enough to lose your advantage. Trait number 2, adaptive persona. Here's a question. Are you the same person with your boss as you are with your best friend? Of course not, and that's not fake, that's intelligent. Think of water. Put it in a cup, it's a cup. Put it in a bottle, it's a bottle, but it never stops being water. Your adaptive persona works exactly like that. Every person you meet carries different values, different fears, different ways of processing the world. If you use the same approach with everyone, you'll connect with some people and completely miss others. Analytical person in front of you, give them data. Emotional person, connect to their feelings first. Big picture thinker, paint the vision. Practical type, show them exactly how it works. This isn't manipulation, it's communication intelligence. The warning, though, in this matters, never adapt so much that you disappear. Your values, your principles, your core, those never change. Only your expression adapts. Diamonds have many facets. There's still one solid stone. Trait number 3, the principle of detachment. This one's going to feel uncomfortable. Good. Most people are controlled by what they're afraid to lose, their job, their relationship, someone's approval. And because they're afraid, they accept bad treatment, they compromise their values, they say what people want to hear instead of what needs to be said. Fear of loss is a leash, and someone always holds the other end. Detachment cuts the leash. Think about 2 people negotiating a deal. Person A needs it to work out. They've already planned around it. Person B would like it to work out, but they have other options. They'll walk away if the terms aren't right. Who has the power? Person B. Every time. The less you need something, the more likely you are to get it. This doesn't mean being cold. You should still care about your goals and the people in your life. But caring is different from being desperate. Detachment means you care without being controlled by that care. Here's the paradox. The moment you stop needing someone's approval, they start wanting to give it to you. Start small. Stop needing to win every argument. Stop needing everyone to like you. Watch what happens. Trait number 4, silent leverage. Real power doesn't raise its voice. Amateur power is loud, demands, tantrums. Real power barely whispers. Silent leverage is the art of creating influence without announcing it. It's about positioning yourself so your presence alone shifts the dynamic in a room. Here's a simple example. Someone asks you a difficult question. You answer immediately. Now try this. Pause. Let 3 seconds of silence stretch out. Then answer. Watch how the weight of your words changes. Most people are deeply uncomfortable with silence, so they rush to fill it, usually saying more than they intended. When you're comfortable with silence, you control the rhythm. In negotiations, silent leverage means having alternatives you never have to mention. You don't threaten to walk away. Your willingness to walk away is enough, and people feel it. In your career, it means being the person everyone comes to for solutions. You don't announce it, you just solve problems consistently until the reputation builds itself. The key is patience. Silent leverage isn't about instant results. You're planting seeds, you're making investments. While everyone else is demanding recognition, you're building something they can't take from you. Trait number 5, psychological echo. Every single person you meet is silently asking 3 questions. Do you see me? Do you understand me? Do you value me? Most people are too focused on what they want to say to ever answer those questions. Psychologically intelligent people answer all 3 without being asked. Here's how it works. Someone talks to you, they're not just sharing information, they're revealing their fears, their values, what they desperately need to feel. Your job isn't to respond to the words, it's to respond to what's underneath them. Someone says, "I hate my job." The average response, "You should look for a new one." The powerful response, "It sounds like you feel like your work isn't being recognized." Feel the difference. The second response doesn't just address the words, it addresses the person. And when people feel truly understood, something automatic happens in their brain. They trust you, they value your opinion, they want you in your corner. Once you understand someone's core need, recognition, security, freedom, belonging, you can frame every idea you share in terms that naturally appeal to them. You're not changing your message, you're changing the frequency it broadcasts on. Trait number 6, ambiguous morality. This is the most controversial one. Stay with me. The world is not black and white, and anyone who pretends it is hasn't been in any real situation with real consequences. Ambiguous morality doesn't mean having no morals. It means understanding that rigid, surface-level niceness isn't the same as actual ethics. Sometimes protecting people means making decisions that don't look pretty. Sometimes being nice in the short term enables damage in the long term. A leader discovers a team member has been lying to clients. The nice thing? Give them another chance. But what about every honest person on that team? What about the clients being deceived? Ambiguous morality asks, what action leads to the best outcome for the most people, not what action makes me look like a good person. That is a harder question. It requires more courage. The danger of this trait is that it can absolutely be used to justify selfishness. That's why you need to establish your non-negotiables first. What lines will you never cross? What are you willing to be accountable for? Within those lines, give yourself permission to be pragmatic. The goal isn't to be liked. The goal is to be effective and ethical in a world where simple answers don't always work. Trait number 7, controlled exposure. In a world where people broadcast every thought, feeling, and meal on social media, the person who shares strategically is magnetic. When everyone is an open book, mystery becomes rare, and rare things become valuable. Controlled exposure is built on one psychological principle, the curiosity gap. When our brains encounter something incomplete, we can't leave it alone. We circle back, we pay attention, we invest. When you practice controlled exposure, you create curiosity gaps that make people more attentive to everything you say because they know you don't say everything. In your career, don't reveal all your skills in week 1. Let capabilities surface gradually. You look like you're constantly growing, not someone who peaked on day 1. In relationships, share information as trust is earned, not as a default. In negotiations, your priorities and constraints are not theirs to know up front. And your digital footprint, that's part of your persona too. Everything posted online is permanent. Strategic people understand that their online presence is part of how the world forms an opinion about them before they ever walk into a room. The goal isn't mystery for the sake of mystery, it's narrative control. When you choose what you reveal and when, you guide how people perceive you. You avoid being defined by someone else's incomplete picture of who you are. Trait number 8, outcome obsession. Most people want to be right. Outcome-obsessed people want to win. Those are not the same thing. Here's what this looks like in practice. Someone challenges you in a meeting.
The emotional response, defend your position, prove you're smart. The outcome-obsessed response, what am I actually trying to achieve in this conversation? Maybe proving you're right will backfire. People dig in when they feel attacked. Maybe a better outcome is helping them reach the right conclusion on their own. Outcome obsession asks different questions. Not how do I look good, but what moves this forward. Not who's right, but what actually solves the problem. Not am I working hard, but am I working on the right things? This is what I call strategic laziness. Outcome-obsessed people often appear to do less because they're selecting the 20% of actions that drive 80% of results and ruthlessly ignoring the rest. They're also the most adaptable people in any room. They're not attached to their plan, they're attached to their goal. If one method isn't working, they change it without ego.